We are very excited to be here representing Stone Coast Fund Services. This is a company that we're very proud to be a part of. So we're excited to be telling you a little bit more about what it is we do and why we're so great to work with. Before going into the details of the roles that we have available today, I'm actually going to be handing things over to Rob Larson, Manager of Business Development. He will be talking a little bit more about our company, but he's also responsible for our due diligence functions at Stone Coast, effectively presenting services and controls to our prospective clients and current investors.
Thank you, Katie. It's lovely. Yes. So I do spend a great portion of my time describing Stone Coast, as Katie mentioned, to prospective clients and current investors and current clients talking about controls. So I am happy to describe Stone Coast to you all today. I'm sure we'll leave something out. So Katie and I will be happy to answer some more specific questions when we get to the end, but I want to start by describing some things about Stone Coast. So I have a few materials. Let me just share my screen. We're going to be talking about Stone Coast, obviously. But before we get into specific questions, we need to talk about some very general questions. What is Stone Coast? What do we do? Why would I want to work there? Stone Coast Fund Services is obviously sort of a slightly nebulous name. So what is it that we do and who are we? Put most simply, we're a hedge fund administrator. We have only one office, and it's in the Old Port in Portland, Maine. I called us a hedge fund administrator, and we'll dig into a little bit about what a hedge fund administrator does. But first, it's easy enough to just stop on hedge funds. So our clients are hedge funds. Hedge funds are part of the financial world that you may be familiar with, or maybe you read about them in the news, but potentially you've heard of them before. But either way, they're essentially pools of capital where investors are giving money to hedge fund managers so that they can invest them, and then hopefully they make and share profits. Once investors give money to the hedge funds, they want to know that the fund managers are acting responsibly, and they want to know what the value of their investment is and how it changes over time, and that's being calculated responsibly and in accordance with the rules that the manager set up when they started the fund. So fund administrators exist to kind of address those needs of investors. And we are unfortunately a part of the financial services industry that doesn't often make the news. Or I guess I should say, fortunately, we don't really want to be in the news. We want to just sort of quietly go about our business. But it's worth digging into a little bit more. What do fund administrators do? What do hedge fund administrators do? So originally, fund administration existed solely to provide independent accounting services for hedge funds and calculate the net asset value of the fund. So we would be keeping track of trades, reconciling portfolio and cash activity, allocating profit and loss to investors, really back office accounting type work. And by being independent from the fund manager, then investors could gain comfort knowing that the managers were acting responsibly. We acted as sort of a control environment by bringing our controls and procedures on top of the managers themselves. And by publishing the net asset value regularly, by giving statements to investors and saying, this is how much your investment is worth, they could track what investments were worth and know, again, it's coming from an independent calculation and not from the fund manager who might have, other incentives on growing the assets of the fund. We can do it here at Stone Coast. Over time, investors and government regulators demand more independent services from hedge funds, and they can outsource those to fund administrators. So on top of the fund accounting and NAV calculations that I mentioned, we also play a huge role in investor services and investor accounting. So that would be working with the investors who want to get into or out of the funds that are our clients and doing anti-money laundering checks as well as know your customer checks. The next bullet point, we process cash payments. So as the money comes in or needs to go out or funds need to pay expenses, we play a role in those cash movements so that investors have comfort that it's not the managers moving money on their own volition, that we're also playing a role in that job. And then hedge funds have requirements at the end of each year to go through an audit and prepare financial statements to share with their investors. And we play a role in that. So we often draft the financial statements and support the audits by preparing information and then sharing it with the audit firm. And then likewise, there are compliance and regulatory reports that are required, and we support those too by providing data, in some cases filling out forms. So there are many ways that you could organize a company and operate a company to perform these fund administration tasks. Stonecoast is not the only fund administrator in the world, but we do have a unique way of doing it. And that's what I want to spend a little bit of time explaining now. What's unique about Stonecoast, both how we fit into the industry of fund administration, but also what makes us a unique place to work that you might want to join. At the core of Stonecoast is our mission statement, which is up on the screen now, that we take pleasure in work done well and working well with others. And we take this notion of exceptional quality work and building great relationships very seriously. It's our goal and it's in our mission statement, but we take it to heart, and we think of it as an obligation to our hedge fund clients and their investors. It's their partnerships in business which sustains us, economically. We take it as an obligation to our community that we be good citizens. We have Stonecoast sponsored volunteer days and organized charitable giving. So we want to be, a good and upstanding member of the community. And it's an obligation we have to our peers in other financial services. So audit firms, legal firms, brokers, custodians, everyone we do business with and exchange information. We want to be good corporate citizens. We want to be responsive. We want to be accurate, and we want to be professional. We want to be, teammates to them as well. And finally, or listed finally, but not necessarily finally in importance, we have this obligation to ourselves that we create an atmosphere that's conducive to doing good work and that fosters teamwork and cooperation, where people can be comfortable and collaborate and have the tools they need to do a good job. So our mission statement and these obligations are reinforced by a key feature, or potentially the key feature of our business model. And it's not listed explicitly on the slide, but what we don't do is sales. So I am in charge of business development, but I do no outbound calls. I don't look for launching hedge funds to call and ask for work. We don't travel to try to drum up business. We don't go to conferences. We don't do any advertising. So the growth of Stonecoast is entirely done by our current clients increasing their assets, and adding new clients. But adding new clients, because we don't market, is only done through referrals from the great relationships that we create with our clients and investors and peers. So when we do hear of a prospect and we have a conversation and we want to propose to them, we're able to send our entire client list as references. So that's unique in the industry. We don't know of any other fund administrators to do that. We rely entirely on the positive relationships that our clients have with us and with our team members, and they're being willing to talk about those relationships to prospective clients. They do all the marketing and sales for us. And it's working. It seems to be working very well. In 15 years, we've grown from 2 team members and no assets and no clients to almost 200 team members and over $100 billion under administration. And we work with about 100 managers. They average having about 3 different entities that we might work with at a time, but 100 different fund manager companies we work with. So obviously it is essential and central to Stonecoast growth that we have these great external relationships, but it is equally important that we honor that obligation and commitment to ourselves that I mentioned a minute ago, that we take great pains to make sure we've got the right systems and tools to put people in a position to succeed, that we maintain an appropriate work-life balance so that it's comfortable here and people look forward to coming to work. And a big part of it is finding the right team members and creating the right groups. So we traditionally structure relationships in small groups that have very focused tasks and client relationships, so that they can sort of build familiarity over time and collaborate closely on the work that's getting done, and have a lot of ownership and responsibility over the client relationship, which, as we said, is the other central part of Stonecoast and how we do business. So hopefully that gives you a basic sense of who we are and how we fit into the industry, and gives you a sense of what you might, whether you're considering wanting to join our team and whether that's of interest to you. So I will stop talking and turn it over to my colleague Katie so that she can describe parts of that joining our team process in greater detail. So I'll turn it over to you, Katie.
Thanks, Rob. So the mission statement that Rob covered earlier, he says it best. It really is a commitment across the board. And part of that is seeking out similar talent who wants to be in that environment. So we seek smart, hardworking, ethical, and friendly professionals first and foremost. Strong communication is key in this role, in any of the roles that we have. And we also want people who are intellectually curious, people who are open to continuous learning, and who are game to be a team player. So we have several roles that are open currently, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about that. One of the jobs in particular that we are highlighting today is the fund accounting account manager role. That being said, we are an opportunistic company. We seek to find the right people for the role. And if you have skills and experience that you are excited to share with us, even if we don't have a role posted that fits your exact niche, we encourage you to apply. Don't be shy. Please reach out. Share with us your qualifications, because as a growing company, which we are, and I'm very proud to be a part of, it's crucial that we have a strong talent pool to pull from. And we want to make sure that people who are interested in us know that we're here, we know where they are, because as a growing company, we don't know what roles are waiting in the wings, and unique opportunities appear all the time. But a few of the other jobs we have here: financial reporting account managers, private equity accountants, fund accountants, and investor services representatives. So heavy on the operations side of our department, that's where we are at the moment. If you go to our website, www.stone-coast.com, you will find all of our roles available there. We also have our fund accounting account manager role posted on JobsInME. You can connect with us on LinkedIn for further opportunities and outreach, see what we're up to. We would love to receive a cover letter with your resume as part of your application. We will eventually ask for references, so have those ready. But there are several ways to get in touch with me. The primary way, if you are interested, is through email at kdegan, D as in David, EEGAN @stone-coast.com, and you can contact me there with any questions. And again, our careers are on our website at www.stone-coast.com.
Thank you, Katie and Rob. It was very informative, and hopefully you'll make some great connections from today's event.
Thank you.
Take care.
Stay safe.